Okay, so my presentation was on on a piece that was called "Do Authors Write Where They Know?" And basically, it was a group of people who decided they wanted to take the top 100 books in terms of popularity that were sold between 1900 and 2020 at the time when they did this study, and they wanted to figure out they wanted to compare where the author actually wrote the book versus where the setting of the book actually takes place, because there's the famous saying, if you want to make a good story, you write what you know and where you know. So they wanted to see if they can test that. So this first graph is basically, it shows that pretty much out of the 100 books, they were able to get around 60 of them knowing of where they actually were written, and pretty much a majority of them were within pretty much like a 10 to 20 miles of the location of they actually written. But there are the few outliers where there's like probably like faraway countries, so it's probably like multiple different genres that could take it. And then they took this data set into the next step where they wanted to look specifically at specific authors. And they decided to use these bar graphs to say, in terms of the entire lifespan of the author, it'll show in chunks of where they live, and then in the dots of the specific books that they've written, and they point to the specific times and locations of where they're written. So the first one that they showed off was Virginia Woolf, who lived from 1882 to 1941, and they wrote pretty much all of their books in one city because they only lived in one city, but then in their later years, they moved to a different location before they passed away. Another one they showed off was F. Scott Fitzgerald from 1896 to 1940, and they moved around a lot, and it shows that a couple of books were written in one area, there was multiple written in another area, then there was the final book on the far right, where it was written in one location and then finished before they passed away in another location. Like overall, I don't really see anything else that I could bring out of this, because it was very straightforward and it was only asking the question, do authors actually know where they're writing from?